Is yungmiami a Sidechick? Glorilla's out here looking for an assistant. And we got celebrity wealth expert Derrial Christon in the building. Stay tuned. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to this weekly review. How y'all been? It's your boy DJ Jesse J. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you're just joining. Welcome. You guys can join the live chat every Thursday. We're here 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And I just want to start off with, let's just start off with the saddest thing that happened this week. Rest in peace to Twitch. We all know him. We all love him. I mean, I saw him. I did see him on what was it? I think it was So You Think You Can Dance, and originally, and then on Ellen. But I really want to touch this. I don't want to talk about nothing that's going on with it. Nothing about it. Just rest in peace and condolences to his family. But I want to talk about the internet is crazy, you guys, and we really got to calm down with these conspiracies. Like, the day of, we can't just be coming out with crazy conspiracies, even if we have them. Even if we have ideas or whatever you're thinking, keep it to yourself. Just, you know what I mean? Let there be. Are we done with grace period for people? Do we just not care that the family can be on social media? Maybe they're trying to contact people, and now they have to come across these theories deep, it's not even you know what I mean, it's rest in peace and then it's these conspiracy theories between that and Britney. It's we really gotta calm down or give people time and space. And it was interesting because Lil Romeo posted something because I guess Master P spoke out on sending his condolences to the family, to Twitch's family, and how sad it was. And Lil Romeo hinted to basically, Master P ain't ever been there for his kids and didn't care when Lil Romeo apparently was going through having some off thoughts. And it reminded me of, I forget what this last show was with Dennis Rodman that was just on TV, but watching Dennis Rodman, here's this person who was so incredible. And just fame ate him up to the point where it pulled him away from his family. And we see him, he'd rather go on a reality television show and look a mess and just drink and smoke his life away than call his daughter. And he's smoking and depressed because he wants a relationship with his daughter. And I just think it gets to a point where we have to really look at these celebrities and think to ourselves, what is important? Is it career? Is it fame? Are you just having kids to have kids? Do these kids mean anything? And as us as viewers respect that too. I jokingly say things about Lil Romeo, Bow Wow, all that stuff, but these are real people and they really had to grow up in an industry, and the thing that Lil Romeo didn't ask to be Master P's son, So I just think we need to really calm down, because again, I love conspiracies, and the Britney one, I do believe something is weird and wrong, but we just gotta be careful with some of the things we saying. But you already know I got Miss Courtney Stewart in the building. Hey, Bo.
Hi. Hello.
Girl. Oh, it's been a week.
Hasn't it? Hasn't it?
All right, wait, so I gotta tell you, I watched that Harry and Meghan thing. I watched the first 3 episodes. Did you watch?
Hi.
Did you watch the new 3?
Of course I have. I have completed the full series of Harry and Meghan on Netflix.
Okay. So I just want to know what your where do you stand? Because I know I don't really know too much about them. I don't know too much about. I really don't know what it is with my I just have this thing about kings and queens. I don't like watching Game of Thrones. I want nothing to do with any of it. Princess Diana, I say oh yeah, Princess Diana because everyone else says it. I really could care less. I don't understand the big thing about her. I just don't like kings and queens. I don't know, like whatever that royalty stuff. Like it just does not. My mom loves it. She watches all the movies. It's just not my thing. I don't know. As soon as it's anything about that, I'm like ick. Like I remember AfterBuzz, we did that it was like I don't even know how many. It was like 6 to 12 hour long, the royal wedding thing, and I had to engineer that, and I wanted to murder myself. Not in real life. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, so. I don't know. I was never into it, but now I'm hearing all these things. There's so many people who have strong opinions about how they hate Meghan Markle, but then I did go look at the story and I watched her talk about it, and it's like, okay, I think everyone's tripping here, and it's wild to me that we live in a society that wants to be woke and all this stuff, but you're really sitting here and thinking that even though Meghan Markle is a light-skinned woman, she looks like a white woman, is what most people are saying. She looks mixed to me. I always assumed she was. I mean, I don't know, but whatever. I didn't know it was like a thing. And how can you not assume that this like royal family that's been in ages, in like kings and queens, like bloodline, like, and this is the first that like known, right, woman of some sort of mixed blood coming, like how can you expect her not to go through some sort of like anything, like experience racism? Like they think that's wild to denounce that. Like, but what's your whole take with, where do you stand with the Meghan and Harry, whatever, I don't even know what this is considered, tabloid stuff.
Tabloid stuff. I will say overall, after watching the doc, I mean, in the end, I'm just rooting for them to like live in their bliss. And I don't understand why people are so mad. And listening, obviously, they're giving their perspective. So there's always three perspectives in any situation. There's one side, the other side, and what's the truth in the middle somewhere. And I think they had every right to say their piece and show their version of what was truth for them. I feel empathy for what they have been through. And it makes perfect sense they have made based on the experiences that Harry had with his mother and everything that came after.
All right, we are back live. I don't know what just happened with that, but I got Courtney back in here. So we're talking about Meghan, Harry, and this new documentary. So sorry, Courtney, but we back.
It's all good. See, the demons and the trolls are out there trying to not let us celebrate Meghan and Harry's love. In the end, I just love that I root for happiness. Maybe it's the end of the year. Maybe it's because, it's Christmas. Like, I don't know. But they look like they are in love, that they care about each other, and that they just want to be happy with their kids wherever they are and do some work of value in the world. And I just will not and will never understand for the life of me why people want to keep tearing all of them down, especially Meghan. It seems pointless. It seems whatever. Their side of the story, that the palace has their side of the story, and that the truth is probably somewhere in the middle of all of that. But leave them people alone. And I love Tyler Perry, because he rescued that black woman and got her out of there. Because if I was Meghan, I would have ran too and got the hell out of there as soon as I could.
Okay, because I was like, what Tyler Perry have to do with this?
Yeah, he's in the second part. You'll find out that he basically rescued them when the palace said, forget you ain't got no security, good luck.
Well, we'll see I'll see what happens. I don't know, you guys watching it? I gotta catch up on the last three. I only watched it because of Courtney, because I was like, all right, let me just see, because you were like you're the first person I've heard like actually low-key cheering them on, so I'm like, okay, let me see what this is about.
How did you not? You watched the first 3 episodes. Did you not believe
before I even watched this, I only watched this documentary because of you. Before this, I had no real opinion about, I didn't really know what was, I don't know, I wasn't really, I mean, I kind of got the whole idea, but like I wasn't paying attention to like the details of what was going on. I knew like the Piers Morgan thing, And I think that stuff took over. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What she actually experienced. I knew the drama after the meth, I think. That's where I stand with it. But, and then what you just watched, that Emancipation with Will Smith, and I'm like, should I watch it? What is it? What's it giving?
I mean, look, I encourage everybody to watch it. It is visually stunning. And if you like film and whatever, it's a very creatively well done visual movie. And the performances are very good. I'm a history nerd and I don't really love the creative license. I think the creative license didn't serve the story as much as it could have. So that's what I took issue with. But it was a difficult watch, even though they keep saying how it's a freedom movie, it's not a slave movie. I agree with that to a degree, but the brutality is still has to be in there or it wouldn't be realistic. And the brutality is very difficult to watch. And it's even more difficult to watch Will Smith in that position. So take with that what you will. I think it's still valuable to see, but it was not an easy watch. That is for sure.
Fair enough. All right. Well, make sure you guys check. That's on Apple Plus, I think. Or Apple Plus, Apple TV. The other something else that ain't easy to watch right now is this Megan, all in the news because of Tory Lanez versus the state of California. This is not Megan versus Tory. Just because you've been using that for the blogs, because you guys are so into people's lives. What's happening in the court is Tory Lanez. This is a case of Tory Lanez, where Megan Thee Stallion had to make an appearance, and also this girl Kelsey, and whoever is the old man standing outside the court. And when Megan walked by, he said, "Why you lie on Tory like that?" And then when Kelsey walked by, he said, "Why you shot Megan the foot? Why you shot Megan like that?" I don't know who that man is, but honestly, I really think it's someone from Tory's camp. I think this is. I don't even want to watch it. I try not to pay attention. The same thing with the Pirate of the Caribbean bit. What was the name? Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp. Her trial.
I hated that. It was the only reason I knew anything and watched any of it was because it was on the TV at the gym, and when I was on the treadmill, I was looking at the subtitles. But this stuff, it's like this is so messy. It's so messy, and it's like, don't get it twisted. I wake up every morning and watch Judge Judy. Every morning I watch at least 4 cases. You know what I'm saying? Every morning. Love it. So, I did have to say, like, okay, Jesse, am I judging? Y'all, I don't know. This fucking damn internet don't want me to be great, and it's really hurting me. It's really fucking hurting me. This is hurting me. Like, it is hurting me. Y'all, it's been snow. I'm not gonna lie. It's been cold as fuck and snowing. So, I don't know. It's probably something going on with that with the stream. So
iced over lines out there.
Girl, something. I'm going to have to edit it. And I didn't want to have to do all that, but this is going to be crazy. But all that, I just think, again, like the conspiracy thing I said at the beginning, leave everyone alone. Just
leave
like,
us alone.
Let's just like, you know what I mean? Like, let's not drag Meg and all that. But I do want to say, like, again, I do think it's kind of crazy, like, that the Kardashians are involved in everything. Because I don't know if you know, like, they're bringing Kylie. This all low-key happened, supposedly, allegedly, because of Kylie and Tory messing around. And I just am like, how do the Kardashians find themselves in every conversation to, like, even, like, a trash barrel? Like, if you're like, hey, I'm looking for a new trash barrel. You're like, oh, the Kardashian. Have you seen Kim Kardashian's? Like, what? Like, a tissue box. Like, what? Every conversation, Kardashians. Jeez,
hey, that's why they're billionaires. That's how it works.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's get into some stories because we have a special guest you already know. We have celebrity wealth expert Derrial Christon in the building. What up, D?
What up, what up, what up? Happy Thursday.
Hey, hopefully this live stream is going to be nice because you want it, because it's cold over here and I don't know, these pipes is freezing.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Well, you got the cold weather. We got the rainy weather in Southern California.
Hey,
It's cool, child, just not that cold.
okay.
It ain't that cold.
All right. So, what stories do you have for us this week?
All right, well, maybe the internet keeps going off because Elon Musk is listening because he has been all up over the internets and the news this week because there's a lot of controversy surrounding him right now because of his deal with Twitter and also him taking $3.6 billion worth of excuse me, let me start that over. So this week, Elon Musk has been all over the news because he has taken 3.6 billion worth of stock away from Tesla, which is causing a crazy uproar because this has been something that's been going on all this year with him borrowing and selling and doing a variety of different things that have shareholders and investors kind of up in arms. So right now they're saying it's about $23 billion worth of stock that he has actually sold this year. So he had promised back in April that he was not going to sell any more stock, and now he's gone and done it again this week with the 3.6 billion that he sold. So a lot of people are kind of in uproar, especially like I mentioned, the investors, because they're trying to figure out like, is he, giving too much time and energy to Twitter and kind of forgetting about Tesla over here? I mean, we've seen in the last year that Tesla's stock has dropped 61% since 2021. What's going on, and a lot of people are worried that he's using Tesla as his personal ATM machine by buying and selling all this stock. In fact, this week there was a new poll that was out that it was during the Yale CEO Summit, and they took a poll to find out like how people were feeling about him selling the stock over at Tesla. And 69% of the attendees said that they believe that Twitter had its best days behind it, and that 79% said that Musk had become a detriment to the value of the companies that he represents. I mean, listen, I don't think that Twitter personally is put all of its days behind it. I think that Elon can come in there and do some changes and put it back in the forefront and back at the top of the game of what it was. But a lot of people don't feel that way. What do you two feel about Elon selling all this stock and him being the new controversial face for Twitter?
What you think, Courtney?
Very clearly, I am not appreciating Elon and his Twitter life, but I also don't appreciate Elon and Tesla because Tesla has had so many racist lawsuits have to be settled because they run in plantations in their plants. And there's a whole expose on NPR about how Tesla treats Black and brown people. So y'all should check that out. And it made me real sad because I thought I was going to be buying a Tesla and I just can't now because of what I read about all that. But that being said, he seems to have been nothing but a detriment to Twitter so far. And none of his ideas so far have seemed to be anything that's like elevating Twitter. So I don't really get it. And the idea that Twitter's best days are behind it, honestly, I feel like with the way American politics goes, like that could never be the case in these, at least not for another 10 years. So I don't think that's accurate, but I don't think Elon was the person to purchase Twitter.
Yeah, my thing with this is like Elon's like another one. He's like the royal family. Like this is all news to me. I know of him. I just like, I honestly looking at him like freaks me out. Like he looks like a Squidward. Like he looks like his name should be like, he just looks wet and like it just freaks me out. But and like I know he's powerful. I know like whatever. I knew the Tesla stuff, but like, do I care about him selling Tesla personally? I don't know. I don't really know what that means. Like that just means he's giving away his portions of it. That right? Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, look, you built a company, you want to do what you want to do with it, whatever. I don't know. But the Twitter thing, I'm just like, I don't know, because again, so now I have to look deeper into who Elon Musk is, because then everyone gets upset that he buys Twitter. Again, I'm like, why is everyone so upset? Then he does the thing with the check marks, and I'm like, okay, this is weird and stupid. Again, check mark doesn't mean anything to me personally. Like, it doesn't affect me. So it's like, whatever. Twitter still works the same to me. I mean, I thought Twitter was getting weird with the space, with the recordings on the top. I hate those chat room things. And then it got weird. Like, Twitter was doing some weird stuff for a little bit, and I feel like now it's like pulling it together, like the little voice note stuff. I don't know. I don't see Twitter going anywhere. I think Twitter is I think by Elon buying Twitter, I don't know if, again, I agree, maybe he's not the right person for it, but from what it seems like he's somebody who wants to keep it a platform where it is considered still free speech, like whatever, even though it's like we're going to have to probably see porn and conspiracy theories all the time. You can still go on there and post whatever you want. And I feel like there is an important, I think that is important. I do want there to be a platform where anything can be posted and we can see it. I don't want to be censored. I want to see stuff, even if it's bad, unfortunately. And I want to be able to choose if I want to see if it's bad or not. Courtney, go.
I'm sorry, we got to stop right now because Chad Peters Dance in the chat talking about Musk is serving raw whole chicken. I'm done with you, Chad Peters.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. Like, he looks like a chicken. I really wish I could like pull the picture of what I'm thinking of in my face, but I don't know what it is. But like, he looks like Among Us, like just a wet Among Us. That's what he looks like. But okay, moving on from this. What else?
I mean, when you have that amount of money, you know what I mean. You can do pretty much whatever you want to do.
It's real good because he had 19 kids.
He has 10 kids. Well, I mean, hey, look, and Nick Cannon got 12. At least we know Elon gonna be able to pay for all those children.
Pay for those kids. I mean, as long as he figures out whatever he's doing that everyone is feeling like he's putting things in the red. So I think that he's a bit of a distraction. I do feel that way with the way he's kind of moving through Twitter. But I don't think that the days of Twitter are over. I think that it has many more days of longevity that could still take place. I think it's just about getting focused and figuring out like what's that next content that can be created with Twitter that takes it to the next level. Because right now it's just focused on what Elon is selling and how he's selling it. So I think that once that is kind of out of the rainstorm, I think that they'll be able to figure out more of a better direction for Twitter. I think that it definitely still has a chance in the business.
Boom. All right, what else you got for us?
All right, we got mandyrose, who's also been in the news. The WWE NXT Women's Champion has just been released from her contract. Apparently, there is a paid subscription site called Fantime, which is very similar to the OnlyFans page. And she has an account on there and has posted some content that the executives at the WWE don't feel it is in alignment with whatever her specifics of her contract are, or the contract is. So they released her from this, and fans have been kind of hitting the social media about it and talking about it because a lot of people don't really understand why she should be released when lots of people now have OnlyFans pages. Lots of people now have this other form of income that's coming in that's making them a lot of money. And there's a big kind of uproar on why she was actually released from this contract just based off of.
Well, wait. Now here's my question: Judge Judy.
Okay, go ahead, Judge Judy.
Okay. Now, did she start this because I learned a little behind the scenes stuff from the WWE? I had a couple wrestler friends. Did she start this while she was doing the performing, or was this something she started before her contract? Because these girls, if you sign up for the WWE, WWF, or whatever that TNT, whatever that one was, say you want to start a podcast, you have to start that podcast before you start filming with them, because anything you start after the fact, they have to get a percentage of. So I would assume that this is probably not driven off of any sexist or oh, she's doing porn or anything like that. I would more so assume this is okay, they probably had a conversation with her we haven't had a percentage of this. How long have you been doing this for? I don't know. Maybe not, but I don't know. I would question that because I do know some girls that are and were, and that was a very big thing that one of them even was let go for that exact reason, actually.
Yeah, I mean, all the details are still a little gray as far as specifically, the nitty gritty of why she was let go. The only thing that's really been released is that the WWE officially said that it was outside of the parameters of her contract. Apparently, these pictures and videos that she's posted were outside the parameters of her contract. So
Oh,
that's
the pictures
really
and the
specifically
videos.
where they've gone now. The pictures and the video. So that's been the focus right now. If there's other things involving, the specifics of the deal and how that flows with her contract, that has not been released yet. But I'm keeping my eye on it to see what happens with it. I mean, she's right now estimated to be worth $5 million. And, listen, if this fan time can generate money like the way Black China generated $20 million off of her OnlyFans page, she might make more money in this fan time than she does on her contract with the WWE.
No, I mean, honestly, these people, not girls, these people make a lot of money, and it's like that's the temptation of it, and it's like, trust me, like it's like I know the numbers, like, and it's just like. Personally, for me, like, it's just like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not for me. But no knock on anybody that does it. Honestly, go. And I wish Yo, all right. Peace and love and peace and meditative peace and harmony. All right. You know what? And we're just gonna jump into the next topic, just like that.
I'm gonna make one quick statement.
Go ahead.
Okay. What I was gonna add to that is that outside of Mandyrose, I think a lot of celebrities are dipping into the pool of having OnlyFans pages. I mean, we just had even Lunel, the comedian Lunel, who just started her OnlyFans page, and we see how lucrative these deals are. We saw that, according to statistics, that Black China made $20 million off of her OnlyFans page. Black China made $20 million off of her OnlyFans page. So I think we're going to see a lot more celebrities diving into creating their OnlyFans page as well. Because I don't know if the taboo is there still the way that it used to be. I mean, there's still a little bit of it, but I feel like that's going to transition a lot as these celebrities are making this crazy amount of money off of their OnlyFans page.
Well, I think it's everywhere. I mean, even Twitter has a subscribe button. Like, everything is like subscribe. Like, do you want to I'm fucking Netflix. Like, just everybody, like, you have to pay. Boom. Once again, it's fucking testing my whole entire life. And you know what I really think it is? I don't even want to tell you. I'll tell you when we get off of here what I really know it is, and I'm gonna have a conniption. I don't want to have to get on the phone with fucking Verizon again. That's the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Or not Verizon, Comcast. Who is it this week? Verizon or Comcast? All right. Well, now Derrial's not Derrial. Oh, all right. There we go. Because I was like, Derrial.
Yeah, darling.
Here's my thing though. I just don't want like Jennifer Aniston's whole career to crumble down to like her selling foot photos. Like, I don't want us to move in that direction.
No, I think what's gonna happen is it's already kind of happening. There will be another site that is basically biting off OnlyFans that is less associated with pornography, but still with the idea of subscription-based content from your favorite people. And that's going to bite off OnlyFans and expand.
Fair enough. All right, so I have a little thing I want to ask. You know what I mean? You guys, since we're talking about celebrities and wealth and new products and things like that, we all know Miss Saweetie. I was gonna say the rapper Saweetie, but low key, I think she does everything else better than rapping. Like, and yeah. I was rooting for you. And I knew you were in a camp, Saweetie, practicing and, trying to get better. And then you released. She went to like dance. She went to like a training. Like, she went, and I was proud of her. Like, to do vocal lessons, dance, and like do the whole boot camp. She went to a boot camp. And so I was expecting like, okay. And then she drops this little EP and it was
not it.
But so Saweetie is though doing something that I think might be up her lane. She is announcing that her foundation, Icy Baby, is going to be releasing a 6-week financial literacy course for the youth that can sign up, and they're going to learn about credit, how to save money, where they should invest their money. What do you guys think of Saweetie, teaching the kids?
Come on, wealth expert. What you think?
What do you think, Derrial?
Listen, as we know, to have millions of dollars in the bank, you have to have about 7 different places of income that you put your money, right? So I think for this with Saweetie, it's a great idea. I mean, obviously, she's expanding her brand, she's expanding her presence, she's expanding her dollars in her pocketbook. So listen, any way that she can find another form to bring in some other income and bring in more money and teach the kids at the same time, I'm here for it. I think this is right in alignment with what she should be doing to kind of separate herself from other entertainers.
Hey, Jade said Saweetie's music is going double wood. She needs to be a socialite or something. Ooh.
Jade,
But I agree.
stop.
I agree. I mean, honestly, because the thing is, and that's not a bad thing. Like, you did it. It was cute. I could see her doing movies, TV shows. I think she has a personality. But I think this is dope because I like, even though she's whatever, like I would prefer Beyonce or, Rihanna or Nickiminaj to be doing something like this. But whatever. I do think that it's like we live in a day and age where we're talking about how these artists are promoting, guns and all this stuff. So I like that Saweetie's moving in this direction somehow, and it'll be a tax break for her too, girl. So
it will be a tax break. I'm here for it. I say go for it.
Girl, I take anything teaching the young folks how to use money in America because we don't get taught it and we haven't gotten taught it, and that's why so many people have struggled for so long. So get it, girl.
Boom. All right. So wait, what do you guys also think? I don't know if you've seen on social media, but boom.
It won't let us be great today.
It will not let us be great today, and it's really getting on my damn nerves. All right, but so Glorilla is out here talking about she's looking for a personal assistant. It's $550 a week. She posted, all the things that she needed the person to do. This comes right after Summerwalker a few weeks ago did the same thing, talking about $2K a month. But she was looking for a white gay male, and people were kind of coming at her for that. And then a lot of people are coming at the pricing for it. I mean, at first I was like, that's kind of crazy because when you're a personal assistant, you don't have a life. If it's like a real personal assistant job, like if it's like, a part-time thing and it's explained that it's a part-time thing and there are hours, fine. But like for the most part, these celebrities think that they're not worried about you. Let's just put it like that. And they know they're paying you, so they think, usually. I don't know. What do you think about the pricing? Because then I had to say I've never lived in Atlanta, and I think both of these are based in Atlanta, so maybe $550 a week isn't horrible.
It's not good.
Right, like you would need another job.
But it's not. It ain't $7 minimum wage because I'm pretty sure Georgia still is rolling with the federal minimum wage. So I'm pretty sure minimum wage in Georgia is still around $8. I don't know for sure. But I'm pretty sure it's not 15-20 like it is in California. So, $550 a week for a full-time job is $13.75 an hour for 40 hours a week. Again, not great, but it's not completely wrong. But you can't live off of that because Georgia rent prices are definitely up right now, especially in the Atlanta area, because they're not living in like Wayne, Georgia. They're in Atlanta. So it's definitely not something you can like rent your own apartment and afford your car and your life on. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it myself, but it's not totally trash. Like it's not Wendy's $7 an hour.
Well, I don't know. So if you're looking for
I
jobs,
wouldn't do it though. I would not.
0 stars, would not recommend. No. All right. Well, I guess we lost Derrial, which I mean I wouldn't blame him at this point. You know what I'm saying? So let's just. Oh wait, before we get into Housewives, we do need to talk about this.
Uh-oh.
I know you've seen the thing with Diddy and Yungmiami and
what?
and Chung Lee. Oh, we got Derrial back. Hold on. Oh, Derrial.
I was just lost. Like it was just nowhere.
You and us both without a paddle.
Trying to get on, it was like connecting, nothing, connecting.
All right,
Living it.
so basically, what now I want to talk about this whole. I don't know if you've been paying attention or you saw, but this whole Diddy yungmiami thing and academics coming out talking about how yungmiami's a side chick, and she felt some sort of way, and so she took it to Twitter and basically dragged him, and then Diddy's other side chick or a girl he's fucking. Baby mother net, or was it no? She had the miscarriage.
Yeah, she's the former that does not have a child, and then of course he had the child with a new one, who's the 28-year-old cybersecurity specialist. But this is actually, it reverts back to our conversation of having multiple sources of income and celebrity wealth and how these things work. Yungmiami came out and was like, ain't nobody side chick, like whatever. And then she's fighting back and forth with the other lady. And then Diddy actually came online and said that he doesn't fight online, even though he's clearly fighting online right now, and that Miami is not a side chick to him. But there was rumors that Miami's stipend was like 250 grand a month or something to be whatever she calls herself to Diddy. I mean, that is a really viable additional source of income.
No, I know, like the Floyd Mayweather, like there are a bunch of guys, Andrew Tate, the Dan Ballaren guy, they have all these girls and they're just on a roster, and it's wild. Like, and they have everything's paid for, that like salaries beyond your dreams, like, and they just gotta be there when they need to be there, and show up. But like, I mean, like, okay, maybe the word side chick, but it's like you're arguing with a baby mom, like.
No, not a baby mom. Well, side chick that eats lady parts.
You're arguing with the coochie eater, and like who, and then like, but then there's another baby somewhere, and like, I don't know. And maybe you weren't. Maybe you and Diddy weren't together 9 months ago, so that could be the case.
They go together. No, they go together. They went together.
Okay.
Yeah, they went together. Look, it's really hard, right? Like, how do you look? They grown folks. Nobody's forcing anybody to do any of this. So go at it, I guess. And the paycheck is good. I can't be mad at you, girl. Make your coins. I just hope that you are saving and investing that money.
Yes.
And because on a certain level, I'm sorry, the check is amazing. I totally feel that. But Miami, you are Yungmiami without any of this. And on some level, your self-respect got to be affected. I'm sorry.
Well, that's why that's why I think she responded the way she did. She wasn't jumping in any of the girl beef stuff when all the girls were rapping We're talking on Twitter, going back and forth. She stayed out of it, like, but then you listen to the DJ academics, like, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I know it's not just him. I know it's been other people say it, but like, clearly it ruffled a feather. Like,
yeah. So maybe it's just time, girl. Like, you just find another.
But I think, again, like, she is, like you said, she's Yungmiami without Diddy. What do you think, Derrial?
What do I think about this messery? Yeah. I mean, I think that it's just so much back and forth with it, to be honest with you. I don't.
Where do you feel like what do you feel like Yungmiami should do with her career right now?
Is the $250 worth it?
Is the $250 a year or a month, excuse me? I mean, yeah, she don't gotta do OnlyFans. Is that worth her? Because clearly we feel that she does feel some sort of way, that people think she's a side chick, which if there's multiple sides, like, then you got to be one of them, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, is it worth $250 a month? In the short run, yes. In the long run, no.
Because but as far as Yungmiami, like, what could she do, like,
to make up for that $250?
To make up for that $250,000.
I don't think that there's much she can.
Oh.
No, yeah.
I mean, she could get on OnlyFans. She could do that.
I
I mean,
isn't she? I'm sure she's on OnlyFans.
no, but I hope she's not. I mean, I just hope everyone isn't. Like, I just hope everyone isn't.
They
Like,
all are.
but my thing is, like, you're Yungmiami and the city goes, get out there and perform. What is going on, people?
But that's a lot of work.
Oh, well then, girl, like, then get off of Revolt and start a YouTube channel and do it on your own.
Did they announce that the podcast is over?
Carisha, please is over?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Pretty sure I'm not crazy. I'll Google it real quick, but I'm pretty sure that was like mentioned that she's not doing any more episodes.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
So there went that source of income. So she's got to keep her what's something else other than a side? Her maybe she's the hors d'oeuvre.
Girl, they need to put an album out. That's what we need. We haven't had we need an album from them. Like, just put music out, perform, get your ass up. Like Kim Kardashian said, nobody wants to. Yo, all right, hold on. I'm just gonna tell Derrial, we just gonna do Housewives. Do Housewives. Boom. Where you at, Courtney? Let's just do Housewives because
I gotta say this one thing though, because I don't know what got cut off on that thing, but you were starting to say Kim Kardashian when she said y'all just need to work. And I'm laughing because clearly the universe is reminded, because that's when it froze for me, that coming from Kim Kardashian, that is not a message nobody needs. But City Girls, come up, show up, girls. Like, give us some more music and get out there and dance. Carisha, you're better than this. I'm sorry.
Well, and PM6, right? And PM16 says, "Hey guys, the City Girls put out music and no one seemed to care." Yeah, honestly, I would probably think because they're worried about other things right now, and that's
100%. They're both like caught up in some men because JT's man,
Lil Uzi Vert.
Y'all know how we feel about him. JT girl, you could do better too. But also, I worry that they're both in the same place like Cardi. But at least, Cardi has gotten married and had her kids. But when Cardi was like, why would I leave him and go to another man that's just going to cheat on me too? I hate that that's the energy.
I know.
Bomb-ass women have. Like, I hate that. But whatever. What you gonna do?
But it's crazy because I feel like that's the generation of... I feel like we're normalizing that feeling of relationships, and we'll talk about it. Honestly, we'll talk about it in Housewives later. Now, let's just jump into Miami Housewives. All right, and just because I know I'm gonna have to cut this up, let me just do a cute little intro right here. Okay, guys, let's get into Housewives. We're gonna start with Miami. I just want to say fuck Lenny. We're gonna start this off with fuck Lenny, and.
F Lenny. Actually, I don't remember my sign language.
But I do want to say this. I actually low-key... Here's the funny thing. I never watched Real Housewives of Miami until the first season on Peacock, which would be season 4.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched the first 3 seasons, and I was like, I could have just not have watched those and just watched last season. But between last season and this season, I actually low-key... think they're my favorite cast in the sense of not favorite like overall, but I think right now it's kind of really cool to see a cast that like all the girls, they're messy, but then they make up. It's like they all get along with each other, but then I don't know. I can't explain.
I think that what you are explaining is exactly what I'm feeling because I had the moment as well, especially as we get into the episode and how it ended. They actually seem like they have real relationships with each other, not that they were just cast on a show to be together. And I feel like all the other franchises right now are feeling very much like everybody's been cast to be together, but their relationships aren't for real. And they are plugging and playing in certain, I'm the villain, I'm the this, I'm the shit stirrer, I'm the this, like, and it doesn't feel like honest relationship female conflict that happens in female friendships. So I'm enjoying it a lot, even though we #hate effing Lenny.
I can't stand Lenny at all. And I feel like I love Larsa. I love her so much, but like seeing her on that date, like it's like, what is it? First of all, what in the MTV is this? Is this like a fucking dating show? Like, why is she why are they cooking food? Like, was this supposed to be a romantic thing? Like, I don't know. And I love her, but the thing is, and I get it, and I'm saying this out of a place of love because I feel like I've experienced this before. I feel like you need to write your ideals out, Larsa, and I feel like you need to write out everything that you want in a man. And then you need to think about needs and wants, and you need to create, I hate to use the word checklist because I feel like people shouldn't have a checklist, but I feel like she needs a checklist because I think in her mind, she wants an Instagram picture. Like she wants a literal picture. I think sometimes we just want this literal picture that will never actually form into something. And so it actually stops a lot of our blessings. And I think she needs time to heal. I don't think she should be dating anybody right now. I feel like she should be 100% focused on herself only right now. And that man is going to come for you. But like, I know she just wants love, and I feel like she's just going to keep getting hurt. And I genuinely think the other thing, too, about this cast, I feel like all the girls are genuinely nice people. Like, they're all, like
yeah,
no
they're
one's,
all like have redeemable qualities. Like,
yeah.
and they show them, like, we have a real picture. Because they're not performing for being on this reality show entirely. I'm sure on some level there's a level of performance, but I will say, like, Larsa, I can't have what I want from Larsa because, I mean, obviously the show broke or released last week. So on social media, everything was flowing around and there's all these old pictures of Larsa in her full, I think she's Lebanese.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so freaking gorgeous. And I loved how she was. So, like, looking like the blow up doll drives me out of my mind and it makes me so mad. And I can't have her back to what she was. But I will say this season, I'm much more invested in her energy than her, like, pretending like nothing matters and I don't care about anything and I'm above everything that she was last season.
Right.
So,
but I think what was last season was pain. I feel like that was fresh pain. And it's like what we're seeing from Lisa right now. Like, it's like, I feel like it's a very similar what we're seeing from
Scotty had been like not a thing for a long time because she had bounced through the futures and all the like whatever else that she was doing. And also I had a direct issue with her with how the whole thing with her and the Kardashians went down with Jordan. Because I was like, Larsa, you a grown-ass woman with kids basically the age of Jordan, and I'm gonna need y'all to not be calling and bullying Jordan when you're 45-year-old women. But that being said, I'm back on her team as I was in the first season when she appeared, and I want good for her, but I feel like she's kind of faking it with some of these dates just to bring certain people on because everybody knows she's dating. But these ain't people she really care about. Because when she was having sushi with old dude, and then they asked her in the confessional, like, is he husband material? She was like, nah, no, of course not. But I'm not going to tell him that. She's bringing on the fake dates to give him something.
Yeah, and I also think it's just to have, like, her single storyline. Like, oh, she's whatever. Ronnie says it really is a wonderful cast. All the ladies mix in well and they feel more connected. Perhaps it's setting of Miami that also has value. Maybe. I mean, I think everywhere is beautiful, but I think it's something about the
good. They are making it look good.
They do make Miami look good, but I also think that it's just like, again, all the girls are genuinely nice people. I don't know. It doesn't feel like snakes in the grass. Ronnie says, yes, give Larsa a dating cooking show. Yeah, I mean, hey, I could see it happening.
I don't want to see that. I want to see her on The Housewives. I don't need her own show.
Right. Or she could go on Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. Put her on that if you want. If you wanted to do something.
Maybe what they should do actually is once like Lisa gets through her stress, because I don't think Larsa will be fully booed up yet. Because I mean, currently she's messing around with Michael Jordan's kid. Like, then once Lisa's free, like maybe we do a like special with the girls of Miami, Lisa and Larsa. Larsa find love.
Well, I wouldn't be mad at a young girls trip too. Like if they got, well, I guess it's not young, but like a single, like Larsa, Lisa, who else could go?
Oh, I know what they should do. No, Larsa
Portia's married now, but
should host like a yacht trip for single ladies and bring like 20 ladies and 20 men, and everybody is dating and finding out if they can find love on a yacht in Miami. I would go.
All right, there you go. We get to, what is it? Ronnie says, I have a little crush on Nicole's husband, Anthony. Am I the only one?
I'm so glad you said that, Ronnie. I had a new feeling for him this week. I don't know if it was because he can fly a plane or his beard was looking extra lush.
See, that's so funny. I felt it last week, and then this week I was like, calm down, Anthony. Like,
oh, I was not. Like last week I cared less. Last season I couldn't care. But this week when he was on that plane and he was sitting in the cockpit with his legs and his little shorts on, I was like, oh shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, anything's more attractive when you know your man got a fucking plane. He's flying it.
He can fly it. Having it, I don't care as much. But flying it too, I was like, oh, sir, you are.
You have a pilot license.
Yes.
Speaking of license, we saw Martina and Julia and their daughter got her scooter license, and I just need Julia to take a freaking chill pill. Like, seriously, God bless Martina, because Julia's a mess, and it's like low-key infuriating, but it makes me like Martina a lot. We get to the boat. Adriana has hot pants. I don't know. I love it. And I live for every moment of it. I
do. I'm like, come on, horny girl. Remind us all that it don't go away just because you keep getting older. They try to dismiss women. Adriana's about to be 50 years old if she isn't already. And she is like, can I see you naked? Yes. That's all I wanted. Thank you.
Born to be wild. And I'm here for it. Gurney and Sophia make up, and hopefully we're done. I just want us to be done at this point. Right? Her name's Sophia. I always get
who is Gurney? Her name
What Gertie. Is it?
Gertie.
You know what it is? I knew I messed it up. Here's the thing. I went to college with someone named Gerby. And then I also know a Gurney. So yeah, and they're both Trinidad, from Trinidad. And so I just was like, as I was writing her name out here, I'm like, I know I'm gonna fuck this up somehow. Because how do I know three people were?
I know, with very interesting names, like not.
But American, like it's one letter change. It's in each one of them.
Gertie. Wow.
Gertie, and Gerby. All right, so they make up. Hopefully that's it. And then the girls start talking about Lenny's.
For the record, as a woman, that conversation, it ain't over.
No, I know it's not. That's why I said hopefully, because the way that was, it was just like, oh, we're drinking and like,
I love your girlfriend. I love you. I'm not just your hired help. It's like, hi, my hired help. I would never just think that. Yes, you did, girl. Yes, you did. Whatever. Keep going.
All right. So then the girls talk about Lenny's parties, and I started feeling bad.
Did you?
For Lisa, I do feel bad for Lisa, low key, but like, because
I was mad at Lisa actually in this moment.
Matt, why were you mad? Because then I'll explain why I felt bad.
I was mad because, like the women said, like I, as your husband, like you don't condone this shit, and I feel like there's a idea with some women about like, well, if I'm the fun time girl, kind of like the women that will do threesomes for their husbands because their husbands like them, but they're not actually bisexual women. And then once they have kids, this is happening to Ashley Darby in Potomac right now. And once they have kids and like whatever, like they want a real monogamous relationship with their man, but they were the fun time girl because they thought that was allowing them to be picked by these wealthy men that can have access and do everything. So you bend and reshape yourself and remove your boundaries to please this man, but that's not what you actually ever wanted or supported, and you are now being abused because of it. It's not okay. You fell into line because that's what he wanted. You were never cool with that. It's not okay.
Right, 1,000,000%. And I think, okay, so yeah, I do that. But then it gets into the point of like, when these things are happening, I just think she's to a point. I feel like every time we hear him talk, he talks the same way, and it low key creeps me out. And I like don't think he hits her, but like I question how he really actually speaks to her, in an aggressor type of way, because every time he speaks to her, he turns on like a baby, like a yes, okay, and I don't, and maybe that's just like his voice because he's so done and over it that he has to, I don't know, keep this face. I don't know, but it's weird. It's so awkward, and it's just like, I get it. You have kids too, so then you just feel like you're stuck in it, and you don't want people to tell anyone. You don't want to tell anyone because you're on national television. Like, it's like, that's a lot, you know. And I don't know. I feel like it's different. Wait, so she admitted that she had threesomes and did all that stuff with him and these other girls?
No, what I'm saying is that the idea that you have naked 20-year-olds at parties in your house all up on your husband and you're fine with it is, or you're saying you're fine with it, is not generally something anybody is actually fine with. A woman is actually fine with, unless she's trying to be the fun girl chick. And I'm guessing that Lisa, because in previous seasons, Lisa
Okay,
was
but do you think it? But did you feel like it started like that, or it was
100%.
something that progressively was like that she was already attached
I'm pretty
when
sure
this
that's
stuff happened?
probably the kind of space in which they met. And she made herself okay with it because that's the world that she came from.
Okay.
Lisa didn't come from means. So I'm sure she was a party girl, a party on the scene, met somebody wealthy, a little bit older than her, that could give her the life that she wanted. And she didn't want to cut that out. Like, she didn't feel empowered to be like, I'm not fine with this because this is actually how you found me and like where you can. But she needed to be, I'm not okay with this because you done found me now. And now that part of our lives is ending. We can party, but we gonna party a different way. There's no
Right.
reason you should be having naked women all up in your parties, all up on you and your married friends. Like, Alexia was like, and I be seeing the married men and I know their wives and I be looking at exactly like you are. And I don't, I'm making assumptions obviously, but like as a woman, there is a rare woman that would be sitting there like, oh no, this is totally fine.
Right. No, it's absolutely crazy. And it got it to this point where we get to the resort where she was 2 hours late for the flight.
That was crazy because I would have left her.
After I mean, an
30
an hour, you're pushing it. Like, first of all, what? 30 minutes max. Yeah. So whatever. They're all at this resort. It was a cute little resort. And Lisa's on the phone with the nanny. And she calls Lenny because the nanny basically says, I don't feel good. I got to leave. And Lenny says, I have to go to tennis practice.
Tennis practice meaning get up in my new hoe's vagina.
Baby, he about to bounce them balls on that green.
And he was more concerned about that than the children in the house by themselves.
Yeah, and that's wild. And that, to me, it's like, so she breaks down. And my thing is like, girl, you're at the beach at the same time. And my thing is this, you have to look at it like you're a part of the problem. Like, I understand this is a problem right now and you want him to be the source of this problem. But the reality is you're trying to give him every way to say, I'm going to do it. And he's not, because he's literally telling you he's not going to do it. But you want him to, and you want him to be something that he is not. So you should have just said, after the second time that he said, I would appreciate, okay, sure, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that happens right now. And got off that phone and been out to them girls and be like, this is an emergency. Do you guys know anybody? And, whatever the case may be.
But she wants so bad for it to work and for him to choose her. And she knows full well he is choosing that other woman in that moment. And that is why he is talking about he got tennis practice and can't come home. And it's so painful to watch her. It's so sad.
Yeah, but then we find out that, because at first, you know what I mean, like, I mean, obviously in the press we know everything, but then she, at this point, because he came out to say that she knew this wasn't a surprise, her crying on camera, like she knew for months, he had been telling her, and then in this episode we see that was true, because she said he had been telling her that he was dating this girl, and
to get out of our house with our children, go find.
See, that's the part that was. See, but my thing.
That's why I have a problem with Lenny right there.
Right, because did you really say get you and the kids a house somewhere? Like,
no,
get me a house. What?
Yeah. Like a real dude, a real man, not even a real man, a real hoe ass man would be like, okay, I got a new bitch. I'm about to go over here to this new condo I done bought with my new bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, y'all do what y'all do in this house. I'm gonna go over here, and we're done. I'm gonna still be mad. We still probably gonna fight. I might burn your shit up in the pool or something. But how you gonna kick your wife and your kids out for your hoe?
Insane.
What? It has to. I'm like, this has to not be real. This has to be for television. What sane human would do this who has a business on national television?
I mean, that's, and that's what got me thinking, like, it has to be bad. Like, she has to be an airhead and so delusional within, and like, unsufferable. He's treating her like she's unsufferable.
She might be. And I
hate to say that, but
I was annoyed by her, like freaking out when she couldn't get the wine thing open. Like, I can see how he feels like, oh, I'm smart, I'm a doctor, and this bum bitch is cute, but like,
yeah, but then you just, if you really feel that, my thing is this, if you really feel that way, fine. I understand things don't happen, things don't work. You clearly make enough money, right?
Yes.
The whole
leave, the
leave, or you know what I mean, or leave, or buy a house for them to go to.
No. You don't take your children out of their home. You leave.
Well, but the thing is that's saying that he's not going to have his kids. So
no. I'm not saying he doesn't come visit. I'm not saying that there isn't custody. What I'm saying is that you do not kick your children out of their home. And kicking their mother out of their home when you clearly aren't trying to be the caretaker is kicking your children out of their home. Kids stay at the house, figure out the house situation. If y'all need to sell it because it's too expensive, that's what you do. But you got money. You keep the house, you go build you another house, you go buy a new condo, like do whatever you want, but you don't kick your fucking kids out the house with their mama. Mm-hmm. What human does that?
A psychopath. All right, let's jump into Potomac, which honestly,
I'm like, why?
I mean, really, like this, you let me down. You let me down, Potato Mac. But hey, the Karen Huger experience is coming soon. Karen wants to do a live show called An Evening with the Grand Dame, with musical performance, cut to drag performance, cut to cabaret, cut to poetry, cut to MTV Music Award, cut to Karen Huger doing ballet, cut to, first of all, like, who is this man telling her this? And like, Karen,
I don't know. This sounds terrible.
Did you just find a gay man somewhere and
yes,
like?
You did. This is Blue Eyes from the old.
No, I just want this. This is a message to Glorilla and Summerwalker. This is what you get for $550 a week. Message. $550 a week will get you an evening with the Grand Dame, with musical performances, cut to drag performances, cut to pride kickoff, cut to acrobatics, cut to performative dance, cut to one-on-one segments, cut to interview, cut to special guests, cut to...
Wait. But objectively speaking, does any part of you think Oh, I mean, maybe this could be a thing.
I mean, yeah, Luann, the Countess Luann's out here doing it,
Okay, but
and
not like that. No, no, no. That I should rephrase. Let me rephrase the question. Judge, rollback counselor has to rephrase the question. Not that it could be a thing because we have an insane obsession with celebrity culture. I'm saying you as Jesse Janity, could this possibly be, is there some version of this that you think could be a thing that you would actually find entertaining outside of the celebrity machine of it all?
absolutely not. She's
Do you want to hear her talk? Do you want her advice?
No, if I don't know her off of the Housewives, I wouldn't. She's Karen. Love you, but like, I wouldn't know who she was. Like, if she's just some random person doing this,
Okay, but you know her from Housewives. So watching her on Housewives, do you like want to hear her give you advice on your love life or talk about love in general?
No,
or
I don't think anything about it is
candles.
No, all I want her to do is, I don't know if she can sing. I don't want her to sing, but if that's what she's going to do, apparently there's a musical number and then drag performers. Like, maybe she's hosting an evening. Like, here's what I could see it being: an intimate crowd, and it's like one of those like eat theaters where you sit and dine theaters, and it's an evening with her, and you have dinner, and she takes you through the course, and she has her celebrity friends, or maybe not celebrities, but like friends, like drag performers who come, comedians, and she just hosts the evening. I would be here for that. And she made it like this. Her as a host, and she makes it like it's like you walk into this, like, what are they called? Dinner theaters. And it's like it's supposed to be this elegant thing, it's like a little comedy. Some other housewives could come join if she's like touring it or something, and like when she's in Beverly Hills, she could have like one of the girls come through or something, ex-housewives come through. I could see something like that, and I would be into that. And I feel like she's one of the few housewives that could do that, because her shtick is like the grand dame. Like, I wouldn't, like, if Charisse was doing it, that's giving like pyramids. It's giving like pyramid scheme. Like, it's giving like Avon. Like, come on, I'm gonna sell you guys something at my dinner theater. But like, again, like let's see, PM616 says, where's my thing going? Oh my god. Oh my god, I almost banned you. I agree. Robin and Giselle's live show makes sense, but Karen having a tour is kind of not necessary.
Karen should hire a plan, not whoever she had on the. I agree, PM. Like, we can put together a show for Karen that makes sense.
Look at that. I'm just gonna put this in one cute little thing so I can just cut it and say, Karen, hire me as girl, but it got to be more than $550 a week, because we ain't doing these we ain't doing Summerwalker and Glorilla prices over here. But girl, we're gonna do an evening, the Grand Dame evening. It's a dinner theater, and we're gonna have you travel and have other housewives come through, comedians, and you're hosting a grand theater.
I like it, and I think, and it could be very intimate, so that it can be super fabulous, like very high scale, like upscale, beautiful chandeliers, beautiful flowers, like a fabulous, sexy evening with some good entertainment that she hosts. I could get with
sexy that. Like, so she would have like the fire Hawaiian, you know what I mean? Like, she could have the Hawaiian dancers doing their thing, and I'm here for it. I really think this could be a thing. Should have a Chippendales dancer come one time. Like, it's a thing. I'm here for it. All right, come on, Karen. Look at us reinventing you like Madonna. All right, so the next thing we got was Robin and Candace, and I hated everything about this. Hated it.
You hated it.
Hated it. I don't understand their relationship, and
it's because it hasn't been on camera.
No, 1,000,000%. And that's what low-key bothers me about it. But then I had to also be realistic about it, because I am the type of person who is nuclear when it comes to friendships, meaning in the sense of like I usually bring a lot of different types of people together, and a lot of those people love me, but sometimes don't love the other people that I love, and but get along with them, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, that's just not my kind of person. And like, so I think for me, it's interesting where Candace has this like despise with Giselle, and like Robin and Giselle are like, you know, whatever. It's interesting that Candace would be the one to say like, you know, out of everybody, I, you know, felt like you were this to me. Like, I don't know, but has Robin tried to really fix that with Giselle and Candace to any level? And is that even a necessary thing?
Here's what I think, or what I don't like. And I don't know if this is a producer shortcoming or an editing mistake or what. It looks like we don't get a real gauge on camera of what Candace and Robin are to each other. So this moment that they have feels contrived and slightly doesn't make sense, because I feel like producers and or editors have missed opportunities to share with us the real relationship that has happened between Candace and Robin. And when you say, like the whole part about Robin being the middle and like not bringing Giselle and Candace together, I'm not entirely sure. Like Candace doesn't necessarily like Giselle, but I think that Giselle in her mind probably is very removed and is a show person. Like she knows her function on the show, and that's why she don't like her, because she has a function on the show. She accepts it, but she don't like it. And then outside of the show, they wouldn't have a relationship, because in the end, Giselle's a good 10 years older than Robin, which means she's probably a good almost 15 years older than Candace. True. So they don't really have an honest friendship. Like it's a work relationship that Candace don't even like to begin with, because she knows that her Giselle's job is to bring mess. So she don't want to deal with her and don't care about her. So I just feel like it was just a missed opportunity also to give Robin some kind of dimension on the show, because they want to live in this fucking narrative, in this effing narrative that Robin is Giselle's bitch girl and does her bidding. And they never show anything.
Exactly. Because then it was like, it's funny, like, you know, the internet is so like right now, like boo Robin, which again, I was very much that. But then this episode, it's like, okay, so wait, now we were so heavy towards that, and then now all of a sudden it just wraps up. So, all right, and like, let's just forget about it. Whereas on Miami, it felt authentic.
Yeah.
It didn't give me that here. It feels... Yeah, it's giving climate change.
It's subpar producing and it's subpar editing. Like they are sticking so hard to what has been the narrative all this time. It's the green-eyed bandits against all the other girls all the time for no real reason. And it's
okay, but do you think that the reason is because then what do they do with Giselle? Because Giselle has low-key almost gotten to the point of... I mean, Ashley messes with Giselle, but not really. Ashley just shows up to come talk to Giselle. I feel like
I think it's lazy, because I think Giselle is going to insert herself in people's business, because that's what Giselle does. And she also knows that's her function on the show. Right. So if actually were honestly just, because that would be way more interesting if there's a fissure between Robin and Giselle. And this whole dynamic, it's not the contrived light-skinned girls against the brown-skinned girls, and then the random Ashley Darby that throws a wrench in it every once in a while. Like, just do something different and follow the honest, like, dynamic of the women. But Giselle's been there from the beginning, and they like this mean girl, green-eyed bandit narrative that they run the show and they cause problems. But everybody can cause problems. Ashley and Candace, like we said last week, would be an amazing duo to figure it out. But they keep feeding the engine of making Giselle and whatever she says the problem, so that everybody is working around that framework with Giselle and Robin at the head of it. And it's just stupid to me.
Same. I'm not it's something just is not giving it. I mean, I'm enjoying the season, but it's like,
but it keeps falling flat every once in a while. And mind you, we didn't give a damn about Mia.
Didn't. Forgot she was even on the show.
Yeah.
What did you think of the whole Giselle and Jamal? We got the daughter's birthday party. I mean, I can just...
Awkward.
You what?
Awkward.
Yeah. I mean, all I could think of was like, glad you guys are co-parenting. Like,
but also,
but like, we didn't need to even see this, to be honest. Like, it
was just awkward. Like, he didn't... I mean, I guess...
It felt like a force just to get a shot of her and Jamal together.
Yeah, and it's like just to make it... But it felt like she was... It wasn't even... It didn't even feel like production is like, no, we got to get Jamal to make sure we like... Whatever. It felt like she was like, production, you need to get Jamal so everybody knows he's a good dad.
Okay, fair enough.
But I didn't like that. I
mean,
was just like, this is uncomfortable.
It was
weird.
Uncomfortable. It was definitely, the whole thing was weird. Just like Candace's 2-degree barbecue, which I loved her mom's shade with the snake outside talking about, that was real quick the way she said that, talking about, I thought Giselle wasn't coming. I was like, oh, tell how you really feel.
Mama. Okay, mama.
But okay, we didn't talk about another thing which I thought was a weird scene also at the party, was Robin's friend's siblings passed away, and it really affected Robin, which, okay, but like, and maybe this is so rude to say, but like, I just felt like with her and Candace, it's like, Candace sits down, you just start bawling. Like, did you just find out? Like, and I am wondering if it was more like, I am not saying Robin was not sad from this, and of course that this is like, that's traumatizing to know, and you feel bad for your friend, but like, it just felt like a tactic, almost like, I don't want to argue with you, I'm stressed out, and then almost like a release. Yeah. I don't know. That's what it was giving, because then
I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was almost like a way to manipulate out of having to deal with what you actually did to Candace, because we never did a conversation about what really happened with Candace. But I can accept that it's very possible that the reason that it feels that way is because we haven't honestly followed the story of what is happening between Robin and Candace.
Right. Just like same with Robin and Wendy, which is now actually even funny you're saying it. I think you're 1,000,000% correct now, because I don't know Robin's relationship with any girl on this show other than Giselle.
And her only relationship dynamic that is communicated to us is her sidekickness to Giselle's darkness. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, Giselle is this dark, horrible person that stirs up shit on everybody, and Robin just co-signs on all of her stuff. Like, they've given Robin no other room in terms of her relationships with the other women to be anything else. So, and I honestly think that has to be editing. I can't believe that them following the actual story of what their relationships actually are would actually elicit the same thing. I think they have a story that they want to tell, and that's what they're telling.
Well, there were a lot of stories told at this barbecue, though. Karen asked Robin about the wedding, and Robin said, it's just going to be a private ceremony with 4. Well, yeah, I love the way it happened, because it was just, I just love Karen and
Ray together. Like,
no,
Ray
and at an outdoor barbecue sitting like that, when she was like, me and Ray got a lot of time on our hands now, like basically saying like, do you need help, girl? Like, what's going on? Do you want me to come look at dresses with you or something? Like, what's up? Do you need to look at a venue?
Want some flowers? Like, what can I do?
Right. She's probably like, remember when me and Ray had our wedding ceremony? Do you need to rent that?
Ooh, when they did that nasty kiss. Oh.
Looking like Elon Musk. That's what that kiss looked like.
We're terrible.
Horrible. And Robin was like, look, it's a private ceremony and it's just 4 of us, and so no guests. Sorry.
And Karen's like, oh, so we're having a wedding with no guests. Oh, we're getting married with nobody else.
Is it even really going to happen? That's the question. It's not going to happen. Then Wendy comes and sits down, and it was the weirdest apology conversation, but I'm glad it happened, and hopefully
Are we?
It's sincere. I'm interested to see how Giselle handles it, and I'm also interested to see what the communication with everyone's going to be like at the next thing, because we already know what the next thing is going to be. Everyone's going to sit down, and someone, probably Ashley, or Charisse is going to say, hey Robin, I heard at Candace's 2-degree barbecue, you and Wendy had a conversation. What did that conversation over this is over hibachi or something. How was that conversation? And do you feel like you guys are really over it? And then it's going to be, someone's going to throw something in there, and then it's going to turn into, I hate you again. I feel like that's the tunnel we're going down, but whatever. Karen and Candace have a conversation, while Ray and Chris have a conversation. And Ray, I feel like Chris was in his feelings here, because from the commercials, I agreed with Chris. But then watching the actual scene, it's like Ray's an old man. Like, he's like, boy, man, just say this to the girl. But at the same time, I do understand Chris to a degree, because it is like, for Candace to continuously say like, I don't want my man now talking to her alone. I don't, because we are surprised that she even made this into a thing. That is, I don't know, to me, that I just feel like it's very telling, because I feel like they are very shocked by this. And it's like, I don't know. I know it seems like it may not be a big thing, but it's like, that can affect where someone works. If people think like, oh, he's doing this to women, it could spark just some thirsty person on Instagram to be like, oh yeah, I did this at the back of whatever, or some crazy person or something like that. And then it just is a match that you don't want to be the one that started that, like, So,
but
yeah,
sorry, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like, when the end of the scene, that's why I still landed with Ray, because Chris has been on Twitter coming for Giselle,
right, and that he should not at all.
But had he never said anything else other than when he was on camera, like, I don't owe her apology for anything. I have done nothing wrong, and I am not even this. Then it would have been cool.
1,000,000% agree.
But then you engaged on social media platforms, going back and forth, saying all this extra stuff and whatever.
Now you're arguing with women.
Now you're arguing with her, and it's become now you're making it even more of a thing. So I feel like in this moment, it actually makes you look better to just be like, I think you should say, I have done nothing wrong, and definitely not intentionally. I don't know why you thought that of me in that moment. I did not intend that at all. I'm sorry you felt that way. I will never be alone with you ever again, or even attempt to whatever, and move on and never say shit about it again. But if you're going to play online with it, I feel like you're continuing to pour shit on the flame that you claimed that you wanted extinguished.
1,000,000%. And like, again, I knew that first week I was tagging you in his stuff. I'll give you the first week, because, maybe feelings coming up and you want to get on whatever. But I do have seen him since that first week. You're doing the most, bro. Like, now you're on live streams talking about, it's like, no, drop it. You've said your point. Be a man. And just, you made your strong points, because I 1,000,000% agree. If he did nothing on Twitter Other than I'll give you the night of the episode if you felt some sort of way and you just couldn't take it, whatever, fine. But
and you could categorically like deny and say, I did not do anything to harm this woman. I do not understand why she felt that way. That is not who I am at all. And just dropped it after. You could have did that in one tweet on the night that episode aired and just be gone from there.
Period.
But you have made yourself a part of the soap opera.
Yep. And then we see Giselle next week is spilling some sort of tea about Mia and her friend and sloppy seconds, thirds, fourths, and fifths between her man. And then we get Reasonably Shady live. I'm excited to see all of that. I could care less about the Reasonably Shady thing. I think that...
You know what's funny? I was listening to Reasonably Shady on my hikes fairly regularly, like earlier this year and over the summer. And now that the season is back, it again, like I said when we first started covering it, it made me think differently of Robin. And this whole like, oh, Robin ain't got no opinion. Oh, Robin is just a lapdog. Like Robin is not at all that person at all, which is why I fault production and editing for not giving her.
And she should be mad and she should be saying something to production.
Well, I think she does say that, at least speak about it a little bit on the podcast about like, I don't know why people think this is stupid. I'm such and such and whatever. They just don't show this about me. So I get it. But that being said, listening to them now, like, because I don't like any of the women still. Like, I'm enjoying Karen.
Yeah, honestly, Karen's the only one that I'm like, I feel like she's playing this season very well.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just because everybody else is so unlikable. Like, you have to, like, feel something for somebody. And Charisse is such a disappointment because she just looks messy and...
and like, why are you there?
I feel like you're just drunk and messy all the time. And I know she's going to have her...
She gives me Jennifer Coolidge, like just sitting on the side all time, like, honey, what? The gays are trying to kill me. Which White Lotus, if you haven't seen it on HBO, go watch it. If you've never even heard of it, go watch it, but watch the second season.
So hype about it, and I'm not into it.
Okay, I did not care for the first season.
Okay, because I started watching it the first season. I only got through maybe an episode and a half, and I was like, I'm not into this.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. If you've never heard of White Lotus before, I watched the whole first season just because I had a friend who was watching it, and they were like, no, you have to. So I was like, all right. And I watched it, and it was beautiful, like the cinematography of it. But like the story's like, okay, what? It's just whatever. Watch just this. You don't need to even watch the first one. You might
really,
you might go back and watch the first one because of certain pieces that you'll because honestly now I'm like, oh, maybe I should go back and watch the first one now because I'll be paying attention to what the one character in the second story. But the second season is, I think, great. I think I've never seen a show capture an emotion that there's one scene that this girl has that I've felt in my life before, and I was like, wow, I've never seen someone like dialogue that in a script. And for that reason I like was like, oh, the season's way better than the last one. And the story keeps you going better. The first one is very like dry toast, no avocado at all. Second one is avocado toast with all the toppings. All right, let's get into Salt Lake City. But yeah, do not watch season 1 of White Lotus.
Well, it's funny. I'm gonna just say this real quick because it's funny that you say that because everybody's been obsessed with White Lotus. So I was like, okay, what did I miss for real? So I literally went back like last week and I was like, I'm gonna start again. I had my HBO Max, or is it on HBO Max? Yeah. Was still saying that I was on episode 2 and I was halfway through episode 2. So I was like, no, I'm starting over. Let me start with episode 1. I got through episode 1 and a little bit of 2 and I was like, this is boring. I'm not into this at all. So then I Googled, do I need to watch season 1 to understand season 2? And everyone was like, no, you don't. So I was like, okay. I started episode 1 of season 2 and I fell asleep. So I was like, all right, I'm going to come back to it and see if I can get through it because the way that everybody's obsessed with it is just wild to me that I like don't care.
I was not obsessed with it. And then I binge watched it because I was on Go check it out. It's called Everyone's Terrible Podcast, and we talk about Wednesday and White Lotus. But I had to binge watch the whole show because I hadn't watched it because I hated the first season. And so he was like, no, well, we're talking about it. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I ended up watching I literally watched the whole season in 2 days. So I'm just, spoiler alert, sorry. If you don't want to watch season 1, all you need to know is Jennifer Coolidge meets a guy, and he talks about how her husband dies, so she's getting rid of his ashes, and then she meets a guy, and he talks about how he had this friend who was a cowboy, and the whole time, us, the viewer, you're like, okay, that sounds like he might have been gay. But whatever. But you love him because he's hot for her. They're having hot sex, and you're like, okay. But there's this weird story about his friend who was a cowboy, and then we get to season 2. They've been married for a minute, and now they're on vacation. That's all you need to know. That's literally the only tie from the first season. Other than that, second season is a totally different story, way better and funny. Like, all the characters were way more entertaining. But all right, I digress. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Quote of the week for Housewives that I want to now make a thing in my life is, guys, I'm going to go grab a Kit Kat and get ready for the day. I'm going to go grab a Kit Kat and I'm going to get ready for the day.
I'm going to go grab a Kit Kat and get ready for this conversation.
Oh my God, I'm mad. I'm jealous. Oh, wait, I think I do too. Hold on. I don't have a Kit Kat, and I definitely knocked over.
I randomly have Kit Kats in my house. You all know Courtney does not keep milk chocolate in her house, but it's the holidays. So I have random things in the house that I never eat.
I got peanut butter M&Ms.
Ooh, those are way better.
ASMR. Hey guys, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
We're in Salt Lake City, kids. Or we're San Diego, actually.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you guys. All right. But that was my thing. I love that. And low-key, Lisa is growing on me in a very interesting way. Insufferable. Or no, she's sufferable. All right. So Meredith, Angie, and Whitney. Angie says Jen doesn't remember anything, which, again, this is a part of the problem. Whitney is still in her feelings with Heather, which, again, is part of the problem. Heather tells Lisa that everyone has toxic relationships with Jen, and I 100% agree with that. And I think that if you can say something like that out of your mouth, then we all have to realize everyone doesn't have toxic relationships with Jen. Jen is toxic. I think that's just what we have to come to the conclusion versus what you're trying to dance around through this whole episode. The entire episode. And like low key, we know I can't stand Whitney. But low key, when we get to this dinner conversation, I found myself siding with Whitney and Lisa for things. But Heather says, so I guess my question for you guys is this. If you were Heather in this situation right now, would you drop Jen as a friend altogether completely? Courtney, what do you think? Has it gotten to the point where it's like, okay, bye?
This is a really difficult question because even though Jen is insane and toxic, it's sort of like kicking someone, actually not even kicking, it's stabbing someone when they're down. And if at some point you did have love and affection for them, it's a very difficult thing to do. But I do think that I would need to start to slowly build some distance between us.
Which I feel she is and has been.
And that's why in the end, I still fall on Team Heather. Because I do think that she is doing her best version of being supportive for somebody that she knows is going through something insane, and that, again, as we end up discussing later, could cause them to question their life and their viability on this planet, even if it's, justified what she's going through because of wrong that she has done. But you never want to be the person that pushes somebody over the edge just because you can, I guess.
100%.
So I understand that it is a crazy quandary that she is dealing with, and I think that she's navigating it the best way she can.
Fair enough. Jen apologizes to Angie the lapdog, who, as we saw last week, ate it up when Jen was at the table talking about Angie's the only one I can trust. Yuck, gross. It's disgusting. And you just ate it. You ate it up and ran to the other girls. Like, Jen just isn't feeling like it's weird. That's weird. It's weird. It's like, I don't understand what this hypnotism that Jen has over these people is. It's, you look like Mia's assistant. Like, that's what you were giving Angie 2.0.
100%.
You don't even have an original name.
100.
At least, I don't even know Mia's assistant name, so at least you're up that I can't remember your name, I guess. Also, Lisa thinking that San Diego was gonna be like Turks and Caicos. Like, what?
Lisa just be saying stuff. So, like, I feel like she just saying.
Or excuse me, Turk and Quesos. Then we get to, so Jen puts together a beach day, and the winner is Queen of the Beach. Like, what are we, 12? But it was still better than Robin's Olympics. Cleared Robin's Olympics.
Hater for Robin's Olympics.
No, Robin was a hater for her own. Robin was a hater for her own Olympics.
Family fun day.
You said what?
It was family fun day or field day.
Yet none of the families had fun. So they do a sandcastle competition, which the groups were interesting. And then some of the girls went and did surf lessons. Meredith sat out, which
you cannot glaze over linebacker Jen Shaw when there's a hopping around in sacks and racing each other, as she basically tackled out the competition.
Well, I think she only did that because Whitney destroyed their sandcastle.
Girl, okay, look, she could have killed whoever that was that she took down.
But I'm telling you, Jen does not think like a logical human being. She thinks thinks low key, like, honestly, like a monster, like low key, like. And so think about it. Think of what she did with the champagne. Because Angie didn't do something that she couldn't speak about on camera to Angie, and her and Angie probably had a conversation. It irritated Jen so much that she had to throw the liquor. Then here, Whitney, she was mad that Whitney did that, which I was too, low key, because I'm just like, really, Whitney? Like, you're talking about, I just want to have fun and like do normal things, and then you went and did that. And I know she would just be like, I was just having fun, which I get it. And if it was any normal group of people, I would be like, okay, yeah, fun. Can we just like finally we're all building sandcastles in the fucking sky? Like,
can we just build sandcastles and be done?
Right, and then just let Jen win. Just let her win, just so we can continue the day. And because no one takes sandcastles seriously, and other than probably Jen, so we just let Jen win, and we're all good. And Meredith had the best mindset out of everyone. Sit on the side and drink, because that's exactly where I would have been. I wouldn't have went to lunch with them. I would have sat exactly right where Meredith was.
Me too. Except I probably would have been like, can we order food? Like, can I have some fries brought to me while I'm drinking? But yes, I would not have participated in anything else.
Period. And Lisa and Jen are the same kind of crazy, but they're totally opposite spectrums. In the sense of...
You think so?
Yes, because I think I can't say I love Jen anymore. Like, because at this point, I think Jen it's like when you start being violent, like, and like the temper tantrums are like childish, and like, fine, we all have like, you know what I mean, like a real bad night, like a real, you know what I mean, like, and a couple of them, that's fine in our lives. But when it's the norm, and like you're on national television acting a fool, like you're a fool, like it's funny. But like then I think about, you have a son, and how does he feel about that? How do your children feel going to school? Like, you're worried about like my kid. Are you worried about them?
No,
Because if I was your son and my friends were watching this, like I would have to laugh with them, like, yeah, my mom, she's so funny, like, but I'd be horrified, like, down below.
Horrified. Absolutely horrified.
So here's the thing. I feel like Lisa's very similar. Like, I would be horrified if Lisa was my mom, but I love her, and I think she's funny, but I think she lives in a delusional world. I don't think she's a narcissist in the sense of like she's toxic to people, where I feel like Jen is. I feel like Lisa is annoying, and she's like a mosquito. It's like, oh girl. But I feel like you can bat her away enough to where it's like, okay, she'll leave you alone, and then she'll just like awkwardly stand in a corner and like want you to apologize, like want to say I'm sorry, and it's like, oh girl, just fine, whatever, fine, we can go see Wakanda, whatever. Like, you know, I feel like I don't know why I picked. She'd like, I think I want to go see like that. Like that would be the movie she'd want to go see. I don't know. I think they're the same kind of crazy though, but just very on polar opposite scales of it. But I feel like where I feel like Courtney is my person. Like I feel like there are just things, and like it's like I can travel with her because I know we eat similar, or even if we eat very different from each other, but like we can do similar things with each other and still have fun from the different spectrums. And I feel like, I don't know, I don't even know really how to keep explaining what it is I'm saying, because another thing, these are just like weird things that I feel about these girls through the television. But back to Real Housewives of Miami, I feel like Marisol is depressed, and I feel like she drinks as a gimmick to distract us from whatever she genuinely is sad about in her real life. Because every scene, I don't know why I get this, like, it's not psychic energy, but like I get really heavy energy from her in every scene. And some of the things she be saying, it's like, girl, she deep down knows, like she knew what was going on with Lisa, and maybe Lisa told her, but she just knew what was happening. I felt like just by her one little comment. And it's just something about her.
We watched the first 3 seasons with her mom, so like psychic energy is like in her family.
Oh yeah, okay, so that makes sense. And I feel like the drinking is to hide a lot of stuff, and maybe it's because a lot of people who are psychic or can like talk and to people and feel that realm, they do suppress it with drinking and smoking. I don't know, but that was
not actually drinking as much as she's pretending.
No, that's what I'm saying. I literally wrote, I feel like it's a gimmick. I feel like she's doing it like because it's like, well, if people just think I'm the drunk, then I don't actually have to like show myself.
Yeah. And she's not a housewife. She's a friend of. So I feel like she's like, this is a shtick. Like, I'm going to show up and get this little check and enjoy the ladies because some of them are my friends. And that's just what I'm doing.
So we get to they have a gentrivention, and they basically tell Jen she's terrifying and toxic, and I loved that they said that to her. And
I'm so glad they said that. Like, yes, you are a terrorist.
Yes, and you are toxic. But terrifying was amazing. Jen says that Heather's actions don't match with what she says, which, if I was Jen, I can see that perspective.
But I don't wholly agree with that.
No, I do, because again, Jen and Lisa live in the same planet, the same world, like how Lisa needs you to understand her point. If you don't understand her point, she can't even have a conversation with you about your point, because she just needs to make sure that you understand her point first. Because if you don't understand her point, then we can't even talk about your point, because your point wouldn't even make sense for me to explain your point because of my point. And Jen is that. So my thing with Heather is Heather does say certain things, like that scene where Heather said, like, wow, that's fucked up of Angie. Like, but then the next scene we see Heather with Jen and Angie, she was like, well, I don't, he is a nice guy. I can understand Jen's craziness. Like, Jen doesn't think logically. It's like when Meredith said Heather was saying things at face value and Whitney was taking them emotionally. I feel like it's the same exact thing. And maybe that's just, they don't understand Heather, because Heather has just now said, I'm not being emotional. I'm just going to be shoot the facts and just say what it is, which is fine. But at the same time, you can't expect a psychopath that is terrifying and toxic to explain that to you, to understand that all of a sudden you just switched up on her. I mean, I would say Whitney is a little more sane than Jen, and she can't even understand it. So all these women who have experienced, let's put it like this, all these women who have experienced trauma in the past have a hard time understanding your new way of communication. And maybe she hasn't very clearly, in a way that's, maybe it has to happen off camera, express it to them in that sense. Maybe the conversations are only happening on camera, of her saying, I need space, I need this, I don't know. I'm just saying we're seeing it from both sides at this point. But I want to say this. Suicide is a very serious topic. Obviously, we started the show talking about it. I have a problem with Jen talking about it here, like genuinely. I've experienced depression. I have had these thoughts before in my past. So, I know that this is a very serious subject to talk about. However, I also know, going through those feelings, knowing as a somewhat sane human being, I would never utilize my depression as a weapon. I would never utilize that experience that was very personal. And if I'm speaking about that experience, I want to speak about it in a way that is going to help somebody because I overcame it. Or if I wanted help with that experience, when I did need help with that experience, I knew who I needed to speak to and share that experience with. And I have a huge problem with Jen gaslighting in this episode, because what she did was gaslighting. And I know everyone says, oh, I hate hearing narcissists and gaslighting. It's so overused. This is an example of it. This is an example of gaslighting. You've talked to these girls one-on-one so many times since you sat in that room with Heather and expressed your depression and told her what happened. You have sat with Heather so many times since then, and you've never mentioned this. But you've been able to mention all the gossip and all the messy things. And I just feel like now when people are coming to you and expressing a problem that they have with you, because this isn't a new problem. This isn't something that was caused because you're depressed from this thing that's happening. This is your personality. And they're having a conversation with you about your personality. And you took a recent thing, which is horrifying. And I'm so sorry you had to go through those feelings. I believe you went through those feelings. I don't take that away from you at all. But what you did here was weaponize that just so you could control an argument. And then fine, if you want to control the argument, fine. If you just want to dead it all, fine. But then you turned it. You literally turned it onto then Lisa. And that was wild to me. And then we get to the dinner. And it was even, because at that one table, I was like, fine, maybe like she just really exploded, whatever. But then when we got to that dinner and you shushed the girls because Whitney asked a question, you shushed them all. And then you said, fine, I'm just going to tell you. And you, so that you could be the fucking narrator of the conversation, so that everyone couldn't share their terrifying and toxic examples of you. So now we feel bad for you because of course, yeah, that's horrible. You've had those feelings. Well, now I don't want to say anything else. And fine. And then fine if you do that. But then end it. And just be quiet and everyone have a quiet dinner and you move on. But then you whip it onto Whitney. Before we get into that, what was your whole take with the whole suicide conversation? Because it really, honestly, turned any sort of like for Jen Shah. It really has me on a like tolerable level right now.
I mean, clearly I have been done with Jen Shah, but that moment was like, girl, you are horrible. And again, I feel for you if that's what you went through and experienced, because that's terrible and no one should have to go through that. And I'm glad you made it on the other side out and are still here. But there can be no conversation or resolution around our conflict when the dagger that you throw is, well, I tried to kill myself, so nothing else matters. And that shuts down everybody else's feelings about stuff that had nothing to do with any of that. And it's unfair, it's manipulative, and it's horrible. And it just makes me think even further, you're already a horrible human being from what we can tell. And that just made it 800,000 times worse.
Because it just makes me think, like, if you can do this so easily, like, I don't want to talk about her family.
I wanted to give it a pass that maybe it was an emotional moment because they were at lunch. She felt attacked.
No, exactly.
But when they then go to dinner and she basically does the same thing again after saying, oh, it was a very private thing that we discussed. I don't want to talk about it. But then losing your shit again and saying it and making it an issue again at the dinner is proof that you are literally using it as a freaking weapon multiple times, and it's just not okay. It's just not.
And then honestly, again, Heather, the redeemable qualities for me, I looked at this like you are doing the same thing. I understand you want to be in this new place in your life and whatever, but like, Jen does what she does. You saw what Jen was doing, and you knew that because you experienced it at lunch, and I'm sure you and Lisa talked about it. So then when she threw it to Whitney, that was your cue, realistically, to say that's the issue between me and Whitney. And that, if you don't want to talk about our discussion, that's fine, but that's a discussion between me and Whitney. Instead, then you took that ammo. And this is why it's like you don't even care that your friend tried to commit suicide, because the fact that you're even doing this, the fact that you guys are even like using this conversation as a catalyst is disgusting. And then Heather goes down the line and deflects it to Whitney. And I did appreciate, or Whitney starts, my thing is this, Whitney, you started the fight between you and Heather. You did, because you're sensitive. You're sensitive. It's like, get over it. We understand. You went through trauma. Clearly, Heather does not want to be a part of that journey with you. She does, but like to a certain extent. Like, she doesn't want to hand walk through this with you, girl. She's dealing with her own stuff. You're being really sensitive with the push. Like, yeah, you guys were all drunk. Like, she didn't punch you. She didn't, slap you. She didn't physically assault you. But you're making it sound like that. You're being Giselle. And it's like, it wasn't that. Get over it. like, stop crying about it every time. And like, it's just like, you're not listening to me. And like, I went through this traumatic thing. And like, the thing is like, imagine being like what I went through, and like, no one listens to me. And like, if you just like, don't keep talking about how no one listens to you, and you just talk about what it is you want them to hear. But I will say Heather does do the talking. She does. And I get it. It's like when it's like someone's so infuriating, you just want to like, but it's like, girl, we need this to end. So one of you has to be the bigger person. And like Heather, at first I assumed it was going to be you. But like, and I get it. Maybe you just at a snapping point where you're like, I can't deal with these bitches anymore. And, you know, that's where it is. But like, Whitney, you talking about trust issues. Nothing that's happening here is about trust issues. Like, Heather didn't cheat on you. Heather didn't do anything like malicious towards you.
Not at all.
So where is this energy come? Because she's not. You're not there for me. I'm like, you're not here for me. I'm like, it's giving codependency.
You're not hearing me. You're not. It actually, what it's also giving to me is that. And I don't know if this is also a guy thing, but I feel like girls have, or women, like with their friendships, there's like levels to this ish. And it feels like Whitney felt like they were a different level of friends than Heather feels like they were. Because
1,000,000%. But I think Heather made them feel like that.
But you can't make, like, it's like, I'm having a good time with you, but we're mostly drunk together. And that's what we do.
But I mean, you saw how, like, I mean, again, Heather, if you're going to feel that way, then don't slap tits with Jen Shaw all night afterwards. Like,
no, that's the thing. That's the kind of friends that we are. We drink together.
Right, yes. But you, no, kind of friends you were. You can't be that with her anymore because now you understand, like, she thinks that, like, you are like her sister, or you're like, and it's like, girl, sorry, remember our conversation tonight? Like, I'm not going to slap your tits tonight. It's just not going to happen. Like,
but that's my thing. Like, I feel like, and maybe it's just because I'm triggered by this whole episode because of what has happened to me this week. I like dealing with people, and you're just like, I'm not even talking about Jen. I'm talking about her and Whitney. And I feel like Whitney, because Whitney made the comment that like Heather and her husband are like the only people she's ever like truly trusted in her life. And that's why she feels so betrayed. I don't believe that Heather thought for a second that that was her level in Whitney's life. And I definitely don't think that that's Whitney's level in Heather's life. It doesn't mean that they're not friends and that they didn't like care about each other and that Heather didn't care about Whitney and all this stuff. But I think that's where the disconnect keeps happening. When
but I do believe Whitney has expressed that to Heather, and I believe Heather has heard that Whitney feels that way about her.
And that's fine.
I believe Heather was aware of that.
It's not Heather's job to pretend to be more than she is to Whitney.
I agree, because I mean, I look at this like honestly as a lot of how my friendships used to be. I used to be the Heather. Like, I felt sometimes bad, or not bad, but like I didn't know how to let go of somebody, or it was like, yeah, we hang out, but like, you don't own me. Because there are some people, and honestly, I do think it's I don't know, I don't have this with male friends or straight friends. But female friends, there have been friendships where there's almost like, yeah, because we hang out every day, or we were talking every day for like a little, some time, like there was like almost like, and feels like a ownership. And so I don't know if girls just naturally do that with girls and boys and gay boys and whatever. Like, maybe that's just a girl thing, but that is it is a thing, because I have gone through that, like to the point where I've had to say to someone like, I'm not your boyfriend. Like, what is going on here? Like, and had to cut a friend off because it was just like, girl, what? First of all.
Yeah, there's definitely like.
So I do feel for Heather a little bit. I do feel for Heather, but I also feel like Heather puts herself back into this. It's like,
I think that Heather is not good at, I think I said this last week, she's not good at conflict and boundaries. So
and I don't think Whitney is either.
Yeah, and Whitney isn't either. But Whitney is now trying to be like, girl, I'm going through all of this and trying to figure this out. And then simultaneously saying, it's not about that. It's about us. Actually, it is about that, because that's why you're questioning us, because you have had all of this happen to you. And suddenly you want me to be your super saver hoe. And I'm over here trying to open businesses and live my life. I already got one messy, crazy ass friend that I can't just ditch, because I don't want that hoe to end up dead because she is having feelings of harming herself because of what she's going through. I cannot be everything to everybody all the time, but I'm trying. And I think that that's Heather's biggest fault, is that she's trying to please everybody and fail.
People pleaser. Yep. And that's why it's be yourself. If you are annoyed with hanging out with somebody, then be annoyed with hanging out with them and say, hey, this isn't it. But you also, within those moments, again,
you can't do that to women, Jesse. I did it this week and I caused all kinds of problems.
No, trust me, but you do. Unfortunately, you do.
And I was told that I was attacking and causing harm.
Well, you've had that with a couple situations.
I literally said, all I said was, and they asked me. I was not volunteering, but I'm like, okay, you want me to be honest about my feelings? I'm annoyed. Anyway, go on.
And that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you have to be able, like, this is what I'm saying. Look, everyone out here got, you know what I mean? We got all these Facebook friends, MySpace friends, all these friends, Twitter friends, TikTok friends. Girl, I don't know. TikTok, all these friends on all these different apps. And I think it really is confusing people of what friendship is. And,
100%.
You know, I think also watching something like Housewives is almost a delusion, because then they are not friends. These people are not friends. They go here, they interact with you. It's like going to work. They literally go to work and then they go home. And these people don't know what's really going on off the camera with these other people's lives. It's a whole different world. And I think the numbness, I think that all just is toxic. But I think the numbness of, oh, my friend, like, I know I can say anything to Courtney and she's going to receive it, read it, and she's going to say very honestly something back to me. And at no time in our friendship and with any of my close friends has that hindered to the point of violence. And then two, for it to be a continuous loop and a continuous cycle of terrifying and toxicity. And I think, you know, with Heather, I used to be Captain Save-A-Ho. I used to be Save the Friends, you know. Oh my God, I'd be on the street drunk and WeHo with them. We'd be walking and someone's crying on the side of the road. Oh, why are you crying? Like, you need a ride. Like, I just used to be that person. And now, so, you know, Courtney's saying, don't say that to them. No, yes, you have to. You have to. And the reason being is because my closest friends, Courtney is my friend, because I'm honest with her. And she accepts my honesty and I accept her honesty. And, you know, we grow from that, where instead of trying to please each other and all the time, there are times Courtney be like, I ain't doing that. And she ain't gonna do it. I know, unfortunately, the difference between me and Courtney is I know what she gonna like. I won't even ask her. I'm not gonna even be like, and you wanna know the biggest gag? You wanna know the funniest thing? I don't know if Derrial even told you this, Courtney, but so Derrial sent me Janet Jackson's going on tour.
Yes.
And he sent me it, and I said, the first thing I said is I was like, look, Beyonce and Nickiminaj are going on tour, so I have to save my money this year. No, I said 3 people, I don't remember who the third one was, are going on tour this year, and I'm trying to get a travel in. So unfortunately, Janet ain't making the cut this year. And he said, I'm dying because Courtney just replied the same thing back. And I was like,
it was similar. I said, I just need all these chicks to be on the same ticket because there's too many of them doing things this year and I have to make choices. It's hard.
And it has to be. And Beyonce will come first. Sorry.
But I almost feel like I did rethink it though. Like, I feel like maybe Janet should come first because Janet's probably not going to do it again.
I feel like personally for me, and you know, I mean, if you love Janet like that, if I was to have seen Janet the time, because Janet's not like a singer, like where if it was like I posted something about Whitney, like if Whitney was still alive, I would want to hear the voice. I'm not like, you know, but I love Janet. But like,
I haven't seen Janet since Velvet Rope tour.
I mean,
which was
again, just the fact that you went to that is iconic. Like,
yeah. So I feel like that's whatever. It's fine. The struggle is real, y'all. They trying to take all our coins. And if Rihanna goes on, and I don't even like Rihanna on stage for real.
But I would go to this one. Yep.
But I would want to. So I don't know. I feel like they just need to combine and do like a massive, crazy blowout show with like all the queens.
I mean, look, I'm still going to say this. If Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, and Rihanna ever did a world tour,
I'd be there.
I
would put some real coins on them tickets too.
Yeah. Like it would be a thing.
Because I'm a fake fan. Like, I'm not trying to spend thousands of dollars on concert tickets, like, ever in life.
No.
But
if it was that,
like, it was that
billboard,
I might be close to it. I might be, dropping at least a G.
I'd probably drop more than that, to be honest, for like the whole experience of getting there.
Because I need a seat and I need a close seat because I'm old and I don't want to stand.
And a lot of other things that I won't mention on YouTube. Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
Follow me everywhere at Stuart Starlet on the social media universe.
Boom. Oh, wait, actually. And one last thing. I will give this. Bravo. I apologize. Because I was, for some reason, this week, I got my feelings about the whole Heather having a black eye and it possibly being like just the door opening.
You think somebody hit her for real?
Yeah, I do, actually. Because
And it was Whitney, right?
Huh?
It has to be Whitney, right?
Right. So I'm going to say this, though, because now I'm going to just say this. If Whitney comes and attacks her, then I apologize, because that's wild. If it really is just her being drunk from tit slapping and just falling in a bush or something, and Bravo made it, because you did. I'm sorry. You made it seem like there was a fight through the commercials. I will be very upset with Bravo. I will be very upset, mainly because that's like Bad Girls Club. I thought we were above that. Why are we trying to force a physicality between women just off of like she was just drunk and fell on the ground and she had a black eye? Let's make it seem like something happened. Like, that's weird and gross to me, and I'm not into that. Just wanted to say that because that was on my mind heavy yet last night, and then when I watched the episode, I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I hope. But it's also strange because I feel like if it was an actual physical altercation, we would know about it already. And we would just be waiting for it to happen. Because we knew Potomac's altercation was coming because Candace had talked about it because there was like social media back and forth about, oh, snap, it was Candace. And Candace was like, I did not hit nobody. So like we knew it was coming. They kept it under wraps.
The only way I can see them keeping it under wraps is if Whitney, like in a drunken rage, came to the door and was like, Heather, Heather, like, because they're all just psychopaths. And like Heather's like, what is going on? You're hitting me. Like, what is happening? And she's like, I love you. I love you. And Heather's like, I love you too, but like, you can't be like, and she's gonna be like, oh my God, like. And then they're like, you know what? And then all of a sudden they kumbaya. And all of a sudden we forget of all the problems. And Heather's like, because of the trauma, let's not talk about it. Because I know what you went through years ago. And that excuses you from everything in life.
But that cannot possibly be the case.
No, I know it's not. I'm just talking shit.
Called Meredith to come to the room, and that Jen was already in the room.
Looking shocked.
And then Meredith is like, well, what happened? What's wrong? And whatever.
I mean, so it has to be, if it's anything, it has to, I would assume, unless, I mean, we would definitely know if it was a random person breaking into a room. That would have been everywhere.
That would have been everywhere. But I agree with you. If they have trumped this up to make it look like it was a physical altercation and it's not, I'm going to have a serious problem with that.
Yeah, that's a new low for Bravo. Ryan Gray says, I'd def spend $2K on Beyonce, Rihanna, and Nicki tour.
You would go up to 2? Oh, snap. Would I do 2?
I would do 2. I honestly, I hate that I would even admit to saying this, but I would probably do 2. But it would cost more because I would want to make it a thing. Like,
no.
I wouldn't want to see it in Boston. So I'd have to like go to LA so we could all see it, so we could see it together. So that's already paying for something. Or like go travel somewhere like.
That's what I'm saying. I would spend 2 if we all like, I don't know, went to Paris or wherever, like somewhere fabulous.
You'd spend $2K on just the ticket plus.
Just the ticket. That's what I'm saying. Plus,
okay, yeah. Because I'm like, girl, 2K ain't getting you. You already know it ain't getting us to Paris and Beyonce.
No. No, I'm saying like I would spend 2K on the tickets if we were like, yo, let's all have a trip, spring break in Paris and live it up and have a great time and go to the Beyonce concert with Rihanna and Nicki. I would do that.
Fair enough. Let us know if you guys would do it. Would you go see Beyonce, Nicki, and how?
We need some cities. Where are we going?
And Rihanna, and where would you go? Where would you want to see them?
Last thing though. So they were talking about Beyonce picking her opening act, and it might be Tim's. Oh my God, I forgot the other 2, but because the only one that I cared about was Tim's.
No, I kind of liked who the other person was too.
I liked the other ones, but I wanted Tim's more. There were 2 other ones. Why can't I think of who it was?
I know who the other one was. It was Chloe and Haley, wasn't it?
No, not on the one that I saw. It was, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't think of the name. Because one of them I don't know at all. And then the other one is somebody that I know just like a little bit. That's why I'm not remembering the name. But I was hyped about Tim's.
Oh, here we go. Beyonce. Beyonce is rumored to be considering a number of artists. The UK Sun is saying that. Oh, boom. I knew it. Because I had wanted to pause because I love this group, you guys. Flow.
That's who I know.
Because honestly, right now, they're bomb. And like they have a lot of potential. And so I would appreciate the Destiny's Child, like Destiny-ish part of it. Like, because again, I thoroughly believe the world needs a female girl group right now. More than anything in this world, musically, we need a female girl group who is going to harmonize. Because literally, there are no singers who harmonize. There's none.
Your ladies, your friend, the Womack sisters were
the
on
Womack sisters.
Hall. They were on Tamron Hall. Maybe last week before.
Yep.
And I was like, well, one of them was sick, so they didn't get a full act in, but I appreciated that they're getting some national platformness.
Agreed, and I love them, and they actually harmonize, they sing. They do a little too much of the doo-wop, and I would really love for them to, like, come into, like, a pop song. Because I'm just going to play this, you guys. I know I said bye, and it's already 2 hours, but at this point, it's like...
We got caught up.
You guys, I listen to this almost every day. This part's cute, but this is the part right here. And she always say, Michelle, my girl.
Yeah, so great.
I just need that again.
Yeah.
In my
Some
life.
some vocalists and music.
I would appreciate that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in again, leaving the comments how much you spending for Beyonce, Rihanna, and Nicki Minaj world tour. Where are you going? Where
And
you
what you
wanna
doing
see
to
it?
get the money?
Carisha, please.
What stream of income you using?
Okay. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button if you haven't already, and hopefully you're still even with us, because this was crazy, y'all, with the internet, and I apologize, and we're gonna figure it out for next week. Hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J and at Next Mood Swing across all social media platforms. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.